Hey you guys, this is Arlene coming to you with another video for my favorite things. I've been playing around with MFT's Rosette dies, and I have here the 1/4 inch Rosette die, and then I have the 3/8 of an inch Rosette die. I wanted to show you guys some of the different rosettes I was able to come up with, and I'm sure there were so many other ones in my mind, but I wanted to share with you guys the ones that I have created. So let me kind of tell you how I made each of these, and then I'm actually going to show you guys how I created this one right here. So with this one I used Coordinations Sand It, Tear It, Emboss It paper, and I actually sent this through my Big Shot with a Cuttlebug dot folder, the Dainty Dots, I guess. I don't know what, I'm not sure what it's called, but, and then I used my Tim Holtz sander to make the pink show through the dots, if you guys can see that. But first what I wanted to do is I die cut this, actually yeah, this is the 1/4 inch flower. I die cut this twice so that I get a 12-inch length accordion, and what I did first is I folded, because when I send the paper through the embossing folder, the dots may override, or sort of overrides, the score lines on the die. So you want to make sure you accordion fold it first, and then stretch it out a little bit, and then stick it into your Cuttlebug folder, and then run it through your Big Shot or your Cuttlebug machine, whatever you have. And that way it's easier to accordion fold it after you've embossed it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And then what I did, of course, I sanded it, and then on the edges I used my Stampin' Up! Punch that looks like this. You guys can see it because of the glare, but it's this one here, and I used that on the edge, as you can see. And then let me tell you about these ones first. So this one, you can tell I cut this one down because it's a lot smaller. This is what it looks like when you don't cut it. This is what it looks like when you cut it. And these are both cut out using the 3/8 inch Rosette die. So you can tell, you can customize the size of your flower. On this one here, I basically took some design paper by King Company, the Portobello design paper, one of my favorites from last year. I did the 3/8 inch die, put the flower together, the rosette together, and then I took some of this Prima lace that I have in my stash, and then basically what I did is I ran a stitch all the way up one side, pulled it, so I was able to create this little circle, and then I'd adhere that down with hot glue. And with all of these flowers, I actually didn't use a glue dot, I used hot glue to put them together. And then what I did is I took some, you know, look at, I like to recycle. So I took the backing of some bling that I used on my ATG recently, and then I just took my 3/4 of an inch circle punch and made the backings for my rosettes. Okay, so this held it on this side. So this little dot is holding the rosette together on this side, and then obviously the embellishment in the center is holding it together on this side. The rosette requires that you have something adhered on both sides of it to hold it together, okay? So I used hot glue to put on the Prima lace, and then this is just a little embellishment I got in the wedding section at Joann's, and I distressed everything with vintage photo distress ink. I love working with vintage photo distress ink. And then on the edges you'll see the edges are a little bit rough. It's because I used my Tim Holtz paper distresser, this little thing, to distress the edges first. Okay, then on this guy, this is a full-size 3/8 inch rosette, and I distressed the edges of this one as well. And then I actually incorporated some other die cuts from MFT. So I have here this one right here, and this the names and links down below so you guys can check them out if you're interested. And then this one here. And this is the Perfect Petal. Again, I'll put the name on the bottom. So I took the large petal from this die, and that's what's here, and that's actually what's holding this side of the flower, the rosette together. And then I took the large flower from this die here and put that on there. And what I did is I kind of flicked, as soon as they were adhered down, I flicked them up, and this just gives it a little bit of dimension. And then on the center here, I just took some Say It in Pearls flower centers by Prima and just put that on the top. I like the way that came out. It came out really pretty. Okay, now this one here, I took brown cardstock and I kept it at full size. All I did was trim the edges with my scallop scissors like this. And then I put it together. Actually, I didn't put it together, I'm sorry. I had each 6-inch strip, and then this piece right here, the designer paper, I accordion folded it after running it through the die cut, and then I actually trimmed it down to 1 inch. And then I adhered it to one side, and then you just create the rosette, but then you adhere it down together onto the larger piece. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. This right here, this lace, is actually this trim from Prima. Looks like this. And what I did is I just took, again, my scissors, and I did a running stitch, pulled it to create a round flower like that. And then I just adhered it down with hot glue, and then I got this vintage button in the center. Okay, and then I actually sprayed both pages, both papers with my Lindy Stamp Gang. So you could see it's very glittery. I love it. Okay, so now let me tell you how I created this rosette. So basically you have, I'm using the 3/8 inch rosette die. So I've already run these through my Big Shot. Okay, so I have my 2 pieces of cardstock, which will be the base of my flower, and each of these are cut twice using the 3/8 Rosette die by MFT. And then I have 2 designer papers cut out with the same die, and they're both 6 inches as well. Now the designer paper is going to be the inner piece of my rosette. So I went ahead and accordion folded both of the base, the cardstock. Now what I want to do is I just want to adhere one side of it together. Oh wait, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Up! Scallop punch. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to give my rosette an edge, so I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit and stick it in here. You can do this before you accordion fold if you want. I just did it accordion folded it first just to save some time. Okay, so I have those punched out already on the edge. I'm going to take my 1/4 inch sticky strip, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to just one side, and you do it on the last 2 folds of one of your 6-inch pieces. Okay, it doesn't matter which side. Now what I'll do is take those backings off, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere these 2 pieces together. And what I do is I try to line it up as best I can on the base. Okay, and then you just fold that down, make it tight. Now because it's a scallop edge, and you could also adhere it first and then go in and do your scallop punch, but I didn't do that. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is just sort of fix here where the other scallop doesn't quite match, as you guys can see. See how the scallops are overlapping each other? I'm just going to go in and correct that. And I'm just using my Tim Holtz scissors. So there we go. And I just want to get the accordion going here. Okay, so we have one 12-inch piece there now. Okay, now we're going to take our designer paper, and I'm going to get my paper trimmer here, and I'm going to trim these down to 1 inch. I'm just going to accordion fold the end of one piece and maybe one side of the other piece. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put sticky strip on here. And what I'll do is I will show you how you can do this, send it through your punch before you actually put the whole thing together and start accordion folding it. So many different ways you can put the flower together. Okay, so I am just going to try to get that in there as best I can. Okay, now that's put together. Now I will go get my scallop punch. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm just going to go ahead and accordion fold that. Go ahead and take my Vintage Photo Distress ink first, And I'm going to distress the edges before I lay it down on my cardstock. Now what I want to do is I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put sticky strip here, here, and then here and here. Now what I want to do is I want to take the sticky strip off one side but not the other. But before I do that, I'm just going to get the folds down again. Okay, so I'm going to take the sticky strip backings off one side. And then what I'm going to do is line it up and adhere it down to this one as close to the edge as I can get to line that up, as you guys can see. Okay, now that's lined up. Now I just want to make sure I make the rest of the folds flush with the base. And make sure you don't miss any folds, and you'll know if you did because you'll have extra paper at the end. Okay, see how that's perfect? I don't have any extra paper at the end. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of pieces off here. There we go. I'm going to take off the backing of my sticky tape. And then I am going to fold that down. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to do is put sticky tape on the back side of the fold of the base. I'm going to put one here and here. Okay, and you want to make sure you use sticky tape, you guys, because you don't want your rosette falling apart on you. And you don't have to worry about the design paper being adhered down on this part here. It's going to stay together. It's not going to pop off, so don't worry about that. Now I'm going to just line this up and fold it down. Okay, again, as you can see, the scallops overlapped each other here. You guys can see that. So I am going to just fix that. So now we're done with that part. Now it's just like I showed you before. Okay, you just kind of gather it here, and then you can actually force it open this way. So you guys can see how I'm doing that. And put it down, and there we go. Now we just need to get some hot glue and my little dot. And don't burn yourself with the hot glue gun, guys. And then you just rub it around a little bit. And make sure you hold it together until the hot glue settles a little bit, because you don't want that falling apart on you. Last but not least, I have a little button here. You could put lace and like I did on this one, but I decided not to for this particular flower. I'm just going to put a button. It's a little heart button that I got at Michael's. Okay, and I'm just kind of forcing the button loop into the hole of the rosette in the center. And then what I'm going to do is take my Vintage Photo Distress ink, and I forgot to do this, but you can do it after the fact, it doesn't matter, to edge the outer part of the rosette. And again, you can use your Lindy Stamp Gang or Glimmer Mist sprays and spray it before you put the button on. Ideally, you should spray it before you put the rosette together, but for sake of the tutorial and time, I didn't do that. So there you go. Really, really cute. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Visit my favorite things at mftstamps.com. Thanks for watching.